Yo, welcome back, people. Lateness is greatness. I've got the preview gang in the building. Apologies, I'm not usually this late, but the laptops are absolutely flaring up now. Man's gonna have to invest in an Apple thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be one of them guys who just picks up all the Apple products, but they're the only ones you can rely upon these days. How is my brothers Sam, Mayo? How you doing, bros?
I'm Gucci still. Gucci. We had, midweek. The result. I was with Sam yesterday. It was on the call, and we couldn't stop talking about how good it was to get the 2-0 win. So hopefully now this is like the final stretch to the season. Can we just do what we need to do? So good places, good spirits, So yeah, not bad. Well,
love that. And Sam, bro, how you doing on the back of that Porto result? It doesn't really get any better than that, does it?
Oh, I was gassed, man. I can't lie to you. You know what it is? I expected us to win, but the way we were playing, can't lie to you, Porto were giving it to us a little bit. So it was a bit nervy. There was a few stages where I was a bit nervous, but yeah, man, the boys carried through. The only thing that I'm feeling now is that we've got another headline that we've got to deal with, and everyone's going to be talking about like the Tammy situation, and apparently he's not living up to the expectations and stuff like that. And it's just like those headlines aren't needed for this period of the season, innit? So yeah, hopefully he gets when he gets the minutes, or he has a conversation with Tuchel, and they can hash out and maybe hug like in front of the camera, so everyone knows that we're all good, man.
We're saying what do Ollie, where Ollie was like, go and take pictures of the goal.
Yeah. And on top of that as well, it's funny because that Tammy and Timo stuff obviously came from the press conference today, but even Jorginho's agent, he's talking and all that kind of stuff. We don't need to see any of that as well. We're trying to keep it drama free, but I do obviously, it's the preview. We have to obviously pick up on what Tuchel said in the press conference, which has everybody debating today. I wouldn't even say arguing or complaining. Like a lot of people want to put it down to arguing, complaining. I think it's healthy debates. This is not a clear cut and dry situation. It's not our strikers and forwards this season haven't been consistent. They haven't been delivering to our expectations. So I think it's healthy to have these debates and these discussions. That's what football's all about. Do you know what I mean? And if there is no debates and discussions, it's an extremely boring platform, twitter.com, to be on. So I'm glad everybody's debating it because it's there to be debated. It's not clear cut. I mean, obviously Tuchel was saying that the injury kind of potentially might have been a reason as to why he's not involved so heavily. It said that he's setting connections in terms of him getting into the team and having a proper, and he obviously, which is what you want to see, saying he's going to stick by them and whatnot. I'll start with you, Maya. What do you make of Tammy's exclusion? Because he was on the bench against Porto, but didn't get to come on. He scored goals at this level last season. Yes, a lot of people say not against big teams, but I've just put out a tweet just before I promoted this stream about Timo Werner's goals this season, not coming up against, most of the goals haven't come against the top teams either. So it's kind of, they're both having similar seasons, in my opinion. In terms of their output, Tammy, you could say, goal scoring wise, has probably done better. So what do you make of it all?
Random, before I even go, someone said you got KFC Wi-Fi, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But,
I'm in Ireland. It's long.
Even with Tammy, I had this conversation last season, which was like, how's Tammy, 23, 24?
He's 24, I think now.
He's playing for a team where the demand is very, very high.
Yeah.
And like Chelsea have gone for a transition. If I don't care what anyone says. So last season it was just finished top 4. This season the expectation was to go further. Of course, with Lampard it didn't happen. Okay, cool. Tammy in his first season, no matter if you say he was scoring against lost set of position and whatnot, he scored goals. Yeah. If you take away his goals, like you take away a lot of goals from Chelsea. This season, he's still a top goal scorer. I've got it here. It says 51 since the start of last season, 51 starts, 30 goals, 12 assists.
Yeah.
So like when you say like that, like he's contributing a lot. I feel like two things can coexist. Is he contributing? Yes, he is. Do people think he is the level what Chelsea need? Probably not. And that's fine. He is still contributing. That's one thing you can't take away from him. Like, he's our top goal scorer this season. I feel like what's happened with Tuchel, and I feel like sometimes that's why it's good to listen to these press conferences yourself and take things away rather than just looking at the reports. what Tuchel was saying is this guy got injured in a real key part of the season. Before he got injured, he wasn't doing what I needed him to do. And that bit I can't be mad at because I saw him sling Cho. I saw him get angry at Ziyech. I've seen him take players out of the team. And unfortunately for Tammy, it's not a situation where, like with Kante, for example, I don't need you to play every week. You can rest, you can get better, and then come back in. Like with his ankle injury, it sounds like he's only just getting over it. And there was something that Tuchel said. He said it's very hard to get people back to fitness at this part of the season. I think what he's trying to say there is it's because the games are coming so quick and fast. There's not like a game that you can sort of just give someone, 30 minutes to bed them into when you need to get results. We saw what happened with Thiago Silva when we thought, let's bring him in. Thiago Silva looked off the pace, got a red card. There's a lot at risk. And that's not all his fault. That's because of mistakes that happened earlier in the season. So what is the main issue here that everyone's debating about? It's the fact that, okay, we're saying all this about Tammy, but all of the other forwards don't look like they're scoring. And that's why there's so much hearsay, because it's like no one is actually doing stuff. And because Tammy's got the 12 goals, people like to do revisionism and be like, oh, but Tammy's scoring goals. But ask those same people, okay, what was happening when Tammy was playing? They'll say, oh, Tammy wasn't performing where he needs to be. So it's a very, very hard situation for a manager, if we're being real. The other thing that people don't talk about in all of this is, where does Giroud come into this? Because Giroud's been someone that, even though he's not played a lot, he's been dependable this season. He got the bad against Seville, bad against Atletico. There's been a few other occasions where he's got a goal. He's not as prolific as people may want him to be, but he's been ever dependable. Same thing with the Lampard situation. The strikers are a bit here and there. Giroud comes in, saves that half of the season. You can make the same conversation for him. He's in the same situation where it's like, you know what, if I'm not going to play, I'm going to leave next season. Same with Tammy. So all of these conversations are naturally what happens when you have a big squad. The performances are not where you want them to be. And it's like you're looking at two things about how they actually perform and your actual perception of them. Like, if we're being real, and I've got a lot of time for Tammy, I think Tammy's great. What would enable Tammy to be great at Chelsea? It would be the fact that he has an experienced striker that he can learn of. Even if he's not number one, he's in and around people. I've always said it about Rashford. I always said that Rashford's ceiling would have been so much higher if he wasn't having to carry Man United. If he had a striker that he could learn from and adapt and can, bed his way through, because that's what young players need. I feel like sometimes young players come in and have to be the man, and there's so much pressure on them that they just slow down in it. So with Tammy, it's a hard one, but I feel like if he is fit now, give him a chance. That's if he's fit now. If he's fit now, give him a chance, because like I said, he has been, he's shown that he can score goals this year, and he brings something different from the other lot. People may not like what's different, but it's a shout.
I mean, Sam, what do you make of all of this? Because it's causing a lot of debate in the community on Twitter. A lot of people are saying, Timo Werner's bringing a lot of other things to the team, wins penalties, good runs in behind. I would agree with that. But I think in the way that it gets portrayed, you'd think that Tammy wasn't bringing anything to the team when he was playing. It was just like he was just shooting, like as if everything was put on a plate and it was just shoot, bro. Like he did get some assists earlier on in the season. His build-up play did improve earlier on in the season as well. If we're talking about going back and revising things, we should remember that at the start of the season, his build-up did look a lot better. And I just feel like when his first touch was meaty, it was donkey. Do you know what I mean? Now it's like it's not a problem. What do you make of all of this?
I think it's a tough one, man, because the reason why the conversation will be everlasting is because we don't have a complete striker. So it's dependent on the type of striker you like, really and truly. And I feel like the type of striker that Werner is, he just has more attributes that a lot of fans prefer, even though he's not scoring goals. And the thing is with Giroud, obviously he's a goal scorer, or he's reliable when we need him to play. But at the same time, off of the ball, he doesn't offer what Werner offers. And then Tammy, because he did score goals and he did have such a good first season, I feel like people expected him to take a leap from that season and say, okay, cool, I'm going to improve on my hold-up play, I'm going to improve on my headers, I'm going to improve on my movement in the box. And then obviously because we wasn't seeing that as much, even though he was still scoring goals, it's just like, okay, cool, is this the guy that we want to see going forward with the club. And to me, I think Tammy's a good striker. Like I don't think he's as bad as some people say, but I also do see the things that he does that people get frustrated about. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he's so tall and he's so strong, we would want him to be a presence in the box. We do want his hold up play to be stronger. We do want defenders to fear him. Do you get what I'm saying? In all of the strikers, you can see with Werner, you can see his pace. Defenders will be worried about that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Remember that Liverpool game? I think it's funny because we talk about GA. I think one of Werner's best games was against Liverpool when he didn't score.
Liverpool, yeah.
When there was that high line and he was getting him behind. Remember that offside with the finger?
That goal. Let's not even get into that. But then you get what I'm saying? Like he actually does, like, he causes so many people problems. Even with Giroud as well, we know the problems that he's going to cause. But with Tammy, it's like when he does score, and yes, he does get in good positions sometimes. His runs are great sometimes, but it's like, what is your like biggest threat? Like, what do you do for the club that we can say, you know what, when Tammy plays today, this is what he's going to do. This is the thing that he's going to cause the defenders problems. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think if he finds that thing, or finds that, like, it's so deep because
he's made. Sam, you see what you're saying here? You're 100% right, but this is what the issue is. And for me, it comes down to this simple principle. With Werner, yeah, I feel like people are probably giving him not grace, because Werner got like 1 in 21 at one point. But I feel like the reason why people are sort of, you know, maybe a little bit holding their horses because they've seen what he's done in Bundesliga. They've seen the manifestation of what he can do when he's at his full power. With Tammy, there still is a lot of talk of the potential. And I feel like, especially when it comes to Chelsea, the talk about potential is very sort of like, we want to see it now. Like, I don't feel like people can see the upside that can come with Tammy. Even if you think,
we sold Lukaku, bro. Like, we sold Lukaku. He came back and he was banging goals in the Prem. He came back and we still sold him. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
That's the thing.
I have to say though, I don't think when people compare Tammy and Lukaku, I don't think it's fair, because people now will think, oh, I'm a Tammy stan. I'm very balanced on these two players, in my opinion. I like to pull out the strengths and weaknesses of both. Tammy's head and ability, that needs to improve. And if he comes into the team, he's not going to just start banging in goals and be the solution. I've already said none of the strikers at the club are the solution, in my opinion, in terms of regular goal output. There's no prolific, natural number 9 like a Erling Haaland, like a Lukaku, Diego Costa of old. But it was funny because when Lukaku was playing at West Brom, Everton, he was prolific. Tammy wasn't at Swansea, so we can't make that comparison. But I think what I was trying to do is compare Tammy's first season to Werner's, and you'll see a lot of similarities in terms of output. Well, you know, maybe Tammy had more goals, but maybe Werner has more assists. You'll see who they're doing it against. Yeah, and it's both of them their first season. My question is, it's weird that, okay, you're not being brilliant this season, Werner, but you're still in the team a whole heap, and there's not much rotation in a situation for me that looks very balanced.
Do you know what that comes down to as well, though? It comes down to this manager coming in and he plays a specific way. And again, let's put it like this. Hudson-Odoi, I look at you as a player, okay, you know what? I can put you at right wing back. Havertz, so they charge you the 8, they charge you lower back, I can put you false 9. Tammy, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know in the academy he played out wide and everything. And I remember in the conversation, he said that he's still trying to grow into his body and everything. But the only place you can really play Tammy is centre forward. We saw what happened when he played wide. Didn't really work. Same thing with Giroud as well. So it's like, what that does is it makes it difficult for this sort of free-flowing changing of formation thing that Tuchel likes to do. When you have a Tammy, it means that Tammy is going to be your sticking point. And I feel like that kind of works against him as well, because at least with Werner, like if Werner's not doing anything in the middle, you can put him out wide, you can put him on the other side, there's some sort of flexibility.
Can you put him out wide though? Because he wasn't looking good as a winger earlier in the season.
Tammy, but it's the way we were playing. No, we have Werner. It's the way we were playing. Werner's it didn't suit
wide,
him.
Bro. Naturally, he's gone out wide. Naturally,
I think for Werner,
I'm not talking about as a winger. I'm talking about as the forward. Naturally, he can be in the middle. He can go out wide. Like if you were to play a front three of, let's just argument's sake, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, and Werner. What would happen when Tammy has to go wide? We always looked at him and was like, all right, we want you in the box. Why are you crossing it in?
Why are you running the channels so much?
Yeah, naturally, he is a centre forward. And that is where he's going to be. Therefore, it means that I can't really flex that sort of, you know.
But does the team not need that, though? I would argue. like
you would argue that, but the way Tuchel plays, is that what he's looking for? It's
a weird one because I don't know. Sometimes I think to myself, the team might need a bit of a focal point because that game against Porto, and I'm a big advocate of trying Havertz at false nine. I think he comes into the conversation because I definitely want to see him play there more. I think he had a good game against Everton. He's had some games, against Leeds, he missed a chance, so he's kind of up and down. But I don't think he's been given enough time for me to make a conclusion of, all right, cool, we'll move on now. But against Porto, we couldn't hold the ball up from those. We tried to keep it, to make it stick and to win those fouls and take the pressure off us in that first half where we were struggling. We couldn't really keep the ball, and partly of that is because we had no out ball. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird one. I mean,
let's flip the conversation at this year. In Chelsea's whole squad, how many players in our whole squad own a position in the starting 11? Mendy.
Not even Silva now. So,
so Mendy,
Aspie, and Mount probably.
Mason Mount, I would say.
Name me anyone else. You can't. Chilwell, you can't because he's battling. Maybe you can say James right now because Hudson.
Well, Werner, isn't it? Werner's starting every game.
There you go. So what? 3 or 4. And that kind of tells you why we have these issues, because if you had one person who is sort of, I am the guy, that is the person that is, that's there. Like Tammy's been injured and whatnot, so he's not had the opportunity. Giroud has not been the guy underneath him. Werner, he said that, I'm going to stick with you to make this right. Havertz has been in and out. Mason Mount has been ever present. Apart from that, Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, they even certain games, it moves about. We don't have guys that have owned their place. And that even makes it hard sometimes because you get this natural thing. I remember when he came in, he said that he's not a fan of making lots and lots of changes. But because of how we did and everything, I remember there's been games where we've made 6 changes in a match day, 5 changes in a match day. And it's because the way we're performing, it's like, how do I get the best out of these guys? What combination works best? What is actually going to make like an optimum performance? And I can't blame him because of where he's coming in the season and where the season is. He is trying to, it's not about a coaching thing, right? It's trying to get this blue ship into top 4 and win a trophy at any means possible. That's why the Mount performance didn't surprise the performance against Porto didn't surprise me because a lot of people don't understand who Porto as a team. We can't, there's not any team that we can go into a shootout with because our shooters are probably going to pull blanks. What will happen is we have to be defensively assured and make sure that we can optimize situations that hopefully we can score from. That is how we play. That's how Pulisic gets the chance. That's how Mason Mount gets the turn on shot. That is how we play at the moment. Next season, it could be different. But right now, when you've got that, you look at your options up front and it's like, Tammy, if I stick you in, are you going to bury that chance? Giroud, are you going to press so we can get that chance? Havertz, that's the 9 that I need you to be. Werner,
that's the thing.
You're not scoring, but at least to a certain extent, and I mean it's in the nicest way possible, you're running around doing something. So like, running around, but do something elsewhere.
Yeah. Just to add, right? I get that point that you made earlier about a stationary forward, right? And that might not be Tuchel's system. And I think that more applies to why Giroud's not in the team, because when Giroud plays, he is stationary. He is the focal point. And that is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing because he's not going to run the channels. He can't interchange in other positions. But if you play to his strengths and you stick the ball into feet, you can play off of him, and we've seen it before. But with Tammy, I know he's not being out wide. He did play out wide in the academy, I must say. That's what I was saying before. But when you look at the fundamentals of a wide player and what they must do, especially in the Premier League, I look at Tammy 1v1, taking on a man, and I look at Werner. I don't have either or who I could be more confident in to beat their man. When I look at first touch,
come on.
I'm serious. No, because I know Werner's got pace. No, I know Werner's got pace, but 1v1, he's not a winger. He's not going to stand someone up and dribble around them. He is. No,
but we've seen him. We've seen him utilize his pace and the quick drop of the shoulder to get past the man.
Do you know what I mean? Tammy's no slouch.
I get you, but you have to remember that there's the aspect of off the ball as well. So naturally, if I put it down like this, so imagine I know it sounds random, but imagine that ball that Neymar played to Marquinhos, right? Imagine that's a typical sort of pass where you've got people in a wide position that you're expected to make those runs. because of how Tammy naturally is, he's not going to try and just beat the fullback and run forward. He's usually in a central position where he's trying to find the pocket. Whereas Werner, because of how he is in terms of bouncing off players and everything, his natural instinct is to go forward. And another issue that Chelsea had, and I think we mentioned it before when we spoke here, was about the lack of GA nutrients in our midfield and our forward. Like, I keep saying this, Pulisic, before he came to Chelsea, wasn't this goal-scoring machine. That period he had in that purple patch was really good as well, but he's not someone that you would say, oh, he's a goal scorer. He's a really good dribbler, and he's someone that you hope that because of the good dribbling, he can add stuff to his game. Who else have we got? Ziyech. Ziyech is an assister. He's not really a goal scorer, or he's like a key pass man. Cool. Who else have we got? Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi is not a prolific goal scorer. He's a creative. Hudson-Odoi is the type of man that will cut in and put it across the box. He's not a goal man. Cool. Mason Mount, we know he can get goals and assists. He's done it for Vitesse, he's done it for Derby and everything. Our midfield, Jorginho, no. Kovacic, no. Kante, no. The one person that we did, and I'm not doing revolutionarism and everything, Barkley, you know that he could come and give you something off the bench. You get where I'm coming from. He could do something. So when you think about all of that stuff, right now, and I said it before, we are reliant on Mason Mount, basically.
Bro, when people were like, let's move Mason deeper, I said, what? This is the only brother who shoots.
This is what's happening. We are relying on him because you know that he is going to potentially be the one that can get it. Because Werner's not in form. Havertz is, in a moment. So it makes it very, very, very difficult for you. And that's why when we play the back five, it doesn't surprise me, because ultimately what you're trying to say is if we are defensively strong, right, and we neutralize the other team and we keep possession and everything, it's about whether we can take one of those 5 chances we get compared to whether we can actually score. And that's why when the West Brom game happens, you just have to sit back and laugh. Because what happened in that game
it's a flash in the pan for me. Has to be.
Listen, yeah, literally, when you actually defensively break down, that's it. We can't get into a shoot. Once we concede 2, we're not going to score 5 against another team.
Facts.
It's done. So what people have to remember is the end of the season is nearly here. It's nearly here. In terms of cup games, they're not campaign-like. All you have to do is win that game, right? Win that game. Porto, we've done that. There's one more game now. It's a semi-final. So that's on that side. In terms of the campaign, we've got some cagey matches coming up. We know that the defense is strong and everything. Someone said Rudiger shoots more than half attackers. Bro, listen, that tells you something. Rudiger, since he's been back in the squad,
always trying to pop off long shots and they never
Do you know what he's trying to do as well, which is so funny? It's a tactic I use on FIFA. If I shoot on target the goalkeeper and he spills it, hopefully one of the strikers can come in and just
but his strikes aren't that bad. His strikes aren't that bad. But you know what's even mad with Chelsea? Yeah, it's mad because we didn't anticipate this being a problem. Like with the signings that we made in the summer, and Ziyech, Havertz, Werner. If we put all of their goals together at the beginning of the season, we remember all them pictures. All those arty guys were putting all of their pictures together, saying this is going to be goals, but they weren't really thinking about how it was going to work. Then we go into the season now, and you get a few patches where some of these guys are banging in. Ziyech had that patch where he's getting a few assists. Havertz and Werner haven't really had those periods. So it's like, okay, cool. Now Tuchel has to start from the ground up. Like, you can't even start with someone in the team that he knows is going to get a goal. So when you see all of these conversations about, why is this person not playing, or why is he saying this about Tammy, or why is he saying this about Werner? It's like, bro, this is us right now. This is our situation. Do you get what I'm saying? Going that we just got to survive right now. We just got to hope 100%. That he can do what he can do with the players that he has. Yeah, we might see changes that we might be upset about, but realistically, there's no player, like Mayowa said earlier, there's no player that we can say, except from 3 or 4, that we can say, they should have started. Do you get what I'm saying? Even in the West Brom game, we could say, maybe Rudiger should have started, or maybe he should have kept the team and not made that many changes. But it wouldn't even necessarily be the forward line, because we're not used to seeing bare goals. So it's like all this conversation, all the dialogue that everyone's having right now, I hear it, but at the same time, I don't even really get invested, because putting Tammy up against Werner, or Werner up against Havertz, and all of them, they're all on the same level. No one's really doing bits for us to be saying, this person needs to be playing.
Laugh as well, yeah. It's like, imagine this. Obviously, like it's all hypothetical and everything, but imagine a scenario where Timo Werner came in. Right, Timo Werner came in. Havertz came in. It's not a pandemic, you know. They settled to life in London really well. You have the situation where Havertz kicks on from being the captain of Bayer and, you know, playing on the edge, then playing second striker and, you know, understands the Premier League and settles in. And maybe doesn't score as many goals and assists as he did before, but he has that same influence. You then have Timo Werner that because he's with his countryman and everything, he knows how to play off that and he utilizes his skill set really well. We don't have any of these conversations. The reason why these conversations are coming about is literally what you said, Simon, in lesser words, is the signings we wanted to revolutionize our squad have not settled in the way we want them to, which is fine. That happens sometimes. You can't account.
They're young as well.
It's mad that it's all of them, though, isn't it?
It's mad.
Yeah, it's mad. It's very mad.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect it.
In your scouting, like you don't sign these guys and then have in the back of your mind, you know what, it could go to shit. You'd think at least 2 or 3 hit. And like I said, because of the way the season is, you can't, it's all mad. Like a pandemic, long COVID, injuries, change of manager, for a manager that was playing helter-skelter football, a manager that's playing 5 at the back. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. Before we even signed them, we thought to ourselves, some people were realistic and said, it's going to take a bit to gel all of this together because we're basically trying to upscale our team. We're trying to do FIFA, bringing 6-7 man to a squad. It's difficult. And that's why it's about right now, get across the line, optimize the squad as you can, and then going into next season with what we've got, can we get to a place where players are in form, we have a real team of where people need to play, and we have some sort of consistency. And like some people are saying, maybe we do need this vocal 9. But what I will say is you have to remember, we've committed already to this. We've already put money, we've put down payments to this now. So to get
you've invested.
Real talk. Listen, that Bitcoin is, you know, it's fluctuating.
It's fluctuating the Bitcoin, right?
If you want to get this number 9, you have to think about our squad right now, who you're going to sell, and what that means for the signings we already have. Because remember, your Premier League squads can only be so big. Yeah, you're not going to loan a signing you've just made. So we have to think about that as well.
I do. Another point that I bring into this is that I do worry about Timo Werner's confidence because that Macedonia miss wasn't anything to do with ability or technical. It was all in his head, mental.
But he's honest though. He's honest though. That I think people.
Do you think continuing to play him over and over is going to help him, or do you think bringing him off the bench for like 20-15 minutes when the game we might be 1-0 up and hit them on the break and get a goal like that?
It depends really. Like you can't really say, oh yeah, if we play him, he's gonna bang, or if we bring him on the bench, because we actually don't know yet. But the thing I like about Werner, and that's why I'll always back him. Like I want this guy to bang. Like I'm not one of those fans that say, oh, we need to. Obviously, hopefully, we can bang like a Haaland. But if we don't go into next season, Werner will need a good summer break, and then hopefully he can start banging because he's an honest striker. Every time he has an interview and he spoke about the Macedonia opportunity. He said, people are cussing me and all of that, but they don't know it actually hurt. And the only reason I missed it because I took my eye off the ball for a split second. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? He's very honest. He's very honest with him. He seems like he's a very, very honest striker with himself. He's not him and Tuchel are very honest people, aren't they? And he doesn't shy away from it. He doesn't shy away from getting in those positions as well. He doesn't shy away from continuously making the runs. Obviously, we want him to bag. Everyone wanted him to bag. Hey, let me finish. Everyone wanted him to bag. He's not bagging goals. I understand that. But my God will allow him. So did I, bro. I've got a bet with someone right now that he's gonna score more than Lacazette, and I don't even know if I'm gonna win it right now. Yeah, but I'm still gonna believe. I'm still gonna believe.
Honest, you know, I've got to be honest, and I have to put into perspective like this year. Like, let's think back to last season because I remember having this conversation with Cam and everything. Let's think back to last season. So he agrees that he wants to come join Chelsea. He doesn't want to play for Leipzig anymore. And the manager goes, yeah, that's fine, but we can't utilize him in a game like Bayern because it's not going to be, you know, a situation where he can have free reign and whatnot. Somewhat true because of the way he plays. Cool. He comes to the Premier League, and for the first few months, I hear him repeatedly say, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know the defenders are going to be this big and strong. I didn't know they're going to be this quick and everything. Has he done bad this season? For what we brought him in for, yes, he has. Let's be real. Like, I'm not even trying to penalize him, because if it was any other player, I slated Pepe. I said, you brought this guy in to be a goals and assist machine and give you output, and he's not giving you that. Timo Werner has not given us what we expected him to give us. Now, what I would say is, he's tried, he's stood up, he may not be giving us the output and the performances, but I believe with good coaching and an adjustment, I feel like he can, become a player that is used in the right way in this league. I feel like with Timo Werner, a lot of people always talk about technical ability. There's some footballers that don't have that amazing technical ability, but their application can get them to places. And that's at different levels. That can be at the top level, it can be at the media level. Antonio at West Ham, at that level, for what he does there, he's not got the best technical ability, but because of how they optimize him, it works amazingly well. Jamie Vardy, Leicester, amazingly well. Some people say that might not work at a team like Chelsea. I feel like it can. You just have to, if you're going with a Werner, you have to devise a plan that optimizes him in the best way. Because like we said, you don't think he's going to get in the ball and start doing step overs and beat a man. That's not him.
Yeah.
But
one thing
can he evade space? Yeah. Can he play off the shoulder? At the beginning of the season, we saw these small things. Let's not forget.
Everyone was gassed, bro. No one could act like they weren't gassed. Even though you weren't scoring, everyone was gassed.
We saw the signs, so it's not
it's
like
that new signing bounce, isn't it? It's the same with the new manager bounce, it's a new signing bounce. Do you know what I mean? And I have to add,
hey, you man, they're calling me sentiment merchants. Hey, you lot, listen.
I've seen.
I'm not.
I have to add, right, because we credit Timo's attitude. Tammy's attitude is also spot on. And
100%.
This is why I say I draw so many similarities with these two players in their attitude, in their application, in their work rate. We talk about Timo running. Tammy doesn't stop running when he's up front. He's always pressing. That's what Lampard built him to do. And like I said, they have very similar, well, I wouldn't even say similar seasons, because it's gone in different ways for the both of them, but they're being looked at, the way Tammy was looked at in his first season about scoring against smaller clubs but not doing it in the bigger games, and there's been faults in his game and things that he needs to improve on. Timo, you could fairly argue, should be getting the same kind of outlook from what he delivered on this season. My thing is that, yes, we know none of them are probably the outright solution this season. Yes, we know that none of them are the perfect option and that no one's bagging right now. But the chances that Timo's getting in comparison to Tammy to bag in a squad that is highly competitive, or is meant to be, the reason why we have a big squad and the reason why we have options in attack is to rotate. Tuchel is a famous guy for rotation. So when you've got players that are not playing well, not in form, in a critical stage of the season, you'd want to see what else can work. That's the whole point. We've done that in every other position.
I hear what you're saying, though. That's what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying. He got injured one, and like you lot said earlier, he can only play in one position. Werner's not even necessarily played down the. How many times have we seen him directly down the middle? Do you get what I'm saying? Normally he's off Havertz, or he's off the left, he's not necessarily playing down the middle, but more time, like, obviously I've seen a lot of the comments saying about man being a merchant, a passion merchant. The thing is, the reality is I wanted Werner to bag goals in it, but I'm not going to cancel man and say, we need to sell him, or he needs to sit him. We've literally paid bread for a guy to come in and score goals. A guy that was known for scoring goals in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. Yeah, he's come in. He's had inconsistent patches. He changed manager, but he's still going. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm hoping that changes. Do you get what I'm saying? But if it doesn't, I'm not even saying if it doesn't, because it will, innit? But we just got to be behind. We just got to be behind them, man.
I've got a question for you, because obviously, we've spoken about Tuchel before and everything. We've spoken about how he changes formations. Of course, this is a man that we've seen at various clubs, right? So, did he have Oba?
He did at Dortmund, yeah. He had him, yeah.
And he played him at the point, and then behind him he had Dembele of Roos, right? So it was a free.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a free at times. We've seen him do 4-4-2 with Mbappe and Cardi or someone else at PSG. So we know that there's flexibility there. And it's a question for both of you. Obviously, the five has come in at this season. next season, would you like to see a different formation and maybe a different optimization of the forwards, or do you reckon that the front three is the way to go?
For me, I think with the current squad we have and some of the young players coming through as well, like Mark Gahey and others, I think this formation suits them. Now, does it suit the fullbacks? I don't know. You know, Reece James was really good against Porto. I kind of want to see him right side of centre back. I said it every week. Right back, he was really good as well last season. So I don't know where his strongest place is. I still think probably strongest is right back, and then you right wing back and right side centre back. He's got traits to play both. Chilwell, he's adapting, played really well, but he's probably a left back as well. So does it suit everybody? Maybe not, but it suits a lot of the defenders. It suits Werner. I think it suits Werner to play just behind the striker, just off the striker, like he did at Leipzig, instead of playing in a 4-3-3 where he's out wide under Lampard. So I think it suits him, and it suits the pivot. It suits Kante, I think. It suits Jorginho. It suits Cover. And Mount's adapting well. So I think unless you're going to make signings that suit a 4-3-3, and i.e. you're going to get a traditional lone defensive midfielder, and I mean a lone one, because there's a difference between a lone defensive midfielder and a pivot, and someone who works in a tangent in a two. You know, Drinkwater worked with Kante at Leicester. Matic worked with Fabregas. But would you want to see Drinkwater on his own? Would you want to see Matic on his own? I don't know. But it's a different situation as to defending on your own in that position and being the anchor, or being in a partnership and in a tango. So you have to sign players. Maybe you have to sign more players to go to another formation. I don't know how much of a big overhaul it's going to be. We just did one. But he's flexible. So I'm not really opposed to anything, but I'm interested to see what he does do, because if he is going to change formation, I think there's a lot more question marks for me, because we haven't seen a back two under Tuchel, and then what partnership is he going to go with defensively? Because defensive record's been near enough perfect outside the West Brom game. I can't reel off defensive stats anymore because of the West Brom game, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? I had that defensive stat on lock. I was saying it every stream. It was all good, shoving it out like fresh cakes, fam. And now I can't say too much because of the West Brom. Just goal deficits just dropped. But defensively, we've been good. If you're going to go to a back four, then you've got to establish a combination. Does Zuma come back in? There's so many more question marks. So it's an interesting one. I don't know, bro. But I think right now, I would like to see 3-4-3 because it's working.
3-4-3 or like a 3-5-2?
I think 3-4-3 because we've got so many creators like Havertz, Ziyech. How are these guys going to get into the team if it's just a two? Do you know what I mean? That's what over to you, Sam, I guess.
For me, it depends. It depends on the type of football that we're playing in it. Like, I'm just more interested in how we play in it. Like, if we play 3-4-3, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, as long as it's exciting football, as long as it's football that entertains, like, do you get what I'm saying? And it gets the best out of all of the players, then I'm good in it. Like Matisse said, Chilwell and Reece James are warming into the wing back roles. If they make that their own, then good on them. Do you get what I'm saying? But that means we know that they can play very well wing back, and they can also play very well full back as well. And we've got multiple centre backs, some centre backs coming back in. My thing is, because we've got so many forwards, we need as many of them on as possible in it. And we need to make it work, like, one way or another. Because even when we made all the signings at the beginning of the season, obviously it was exciting and everyone was thinking about who can play where. But at the same time, there was I didn't see a formation that had balance, that had all of the players in there. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think we actually do need maybe a lone DM or someone that can stay in that midfield, so we don't necessarily have to play Jorginho and Kovacic or Jorginho and Kante. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just dependent on the signings that we make. But as long as we're winning and we're playing exciting football, then I'm all good, man. I'm not too fussed. I'm not the biggest fan of three at the back though. I didn't really enjoy it when, like, I enjoyed it at the beginning when Conte came in, but when it got sussed out, wasn't really enjoying it as much.
No, just a quick one, because this Dortmund team used to be free squared, so they would have Aubameyang, Royce, Dembele as their front three, and then they would have like Kagawa, Schürrle, and Pulisic come off the bench and like swap with the front three and everything. And it's like, I guess maybe because you've got a lot of Chelsea players that are like quite young and in their prime or like really like ready to go. Like how many people in that Chelsea squad are going to be content with sitting on the bench? Not many, especially when you bought so many come in.
But I think they need to a certain extent. Like I feel like we need to get that spirit back into our club because that's where we come from. Like when we were successful, when we had our best years, bro, our benches were crazy. Like all of this conversation about people needing to start and all this stuff, I hear it because the people that are starting aren't doing as great, but at the same time we need to get to a level where we've got Pulisic or Hudson-Odoi on the bench, and the game before that they just bagged 2 or they just got an assist, and people are like, oh okay, I understand because Havertz just scored 1 the other games. You get what I'm saying? Once everyone starts doing bits, then we can start having these conversations. But right now no one's doing bits. The bench, no one's doing bits, fam. No one's doing bits. We're just getting by, fam.
All right, we're gonna move on. I mean, it's been a good debate. Like I said, I love a good debate. There's a lot to unpackage there with that whole forward line. I think the defensive line. Listen, they conceded 12 shots. I think to Porto, it wasn't as strong as the Atletico Madrid defensive display, but we got the job done. Clean sheet, we move. And look, we got one step in the semis, but we need to get the job done. Don't underestimate them. Do you know what I mean? They got fighting, and we saw them. They caused bare problems. Palace is huge. Because obviously now we play the Premier League game after the West Brom, so we're out of the top 4 behind West Ham. So the Palace game is a must-win, and really it's been a must-win.
Are playing Leicester, Man United are playing Spurs.
Yeah,
we have to win this weekend. Like, there's no if buts or maybes. We have to win because our next Prem game after this is City.
Oh, is it? No, City's the cup, and then is it? I think we've got one more before West Ham.
Yeah.
You got, I think, Brighton and then West Ham.
Exactly. So it's like we have to win. Like this is like a must.
But bro, this is the period that we're supposed to be just getting confidence. Like West Brom was supposed to be us building confidence because our last few games.
We meant to be winning these, isn't it?
Yeah, bro. These were supposed to be mad conversations. We said in the last review, this is where we want to see us scoring goals, and then we saw West Brom moving like Barca.
This is where we want to see goals, and then West Brom said, "Okay, hold my beer."
I'm getting angry. You know when I saw them popping the ball, I said, "What?" I said, "What?" Have I seen them flicking it, bro? Nah.
It's funny. That's the game we wanted goals, but we didn't specify maybe which team, and they got confused. They're madness. Listen, actually mad, it's funny, because the last listen, Leeds 0-0, West Brom 5-2 defeat, Liverpool we won, United 0-0.
Southampton.
Game before that, Southampton 1-1. Hold on a second. Is that 1 win in the last 5? Sorry, 2 wins out of the last 5. So I must have missed something. But it's a bit sketchy. It's a bit ropey. Do you know what I mean? Like we need to. I keep telling these people it really is W settings only because of the situation that we found ourselves in when Tuchel came in. We have to win our games. Like it's not a joke.
I'm not every single game, bro.
I said this. I said West Brom, Palace and Brighton 9 points. I don't want to see any less, bro. It's not a joke. And it's like Tuchel has been outstanding since he came in. Borderline perfection. And it's still not enough.
Yeah, it's still not enough, bro. But that's the job that he walked into, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He knew this was gonna happen. Like he knew that it was gonna be this tight. The fact that he got I feel like sometimes at Chelsea, like some managers are like they're victims of their own success, and it's happened very early for him because now he's won that many games, had such a good unbeaten run. He made the defense much better. So now this is the level that this is the minimum we expect. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. The West Brom was an anomaly. Yeah, make sure that wasn't an anomaly. And in this game, clean sheet, 2 goals scored minimum. Werner brace.
I'm gonna
say it every week. I'm saying it every week.
You say it every week, you know.
Let me tell you what I feel for him, yeah. Like this guy came in, Lampard, you know, the results aren't going the right way and everything. Whole team out of form, looking brazy. Only person that's really performing is Mount. Because I remember people saying, Kante, why is he passing the ball out? Jorginho is useless. Kovacic is running around like a madman. Only person that anyone was giving any sort of reins to was Mount. This guy came in, 14 games unbeaten streak here, and it's like, oh, it's all dandy. What you have to remember though is a lot of the players are still out of form in those 14 games, bro.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't, like the players still haven't flipped around. He's managed to get results, which is sick. But you have to remember that the players have still not got to the place where we want them to. So when the West Brom game happened, it just exposes the major issue with where we are at the moment. Someone said something, and I found it so interesting. They were saying that United, have been winning games and doing well this season just purely because of individual brilliance. We've not really had individual brilliance to call on.
It's only Mount. It's only Mount, bro. It's only Mount. He's the only person that is actually like stepped up, bro. Liverpool goal. Do you get what I'm saying? Porto goal.
I keep saying it. We shouldn't have to rely on this one guy to do everything. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because when it doesn't,
people should even apologize, fam.
when it wasn't going his way, people are like, oh, he's not getting goals and assists from a wing. Fam, this guy's doing a job out there. What you fam? You men are trying to crucify this guy. Oh, he didn't play that through ball. This guy has played 18 matches on the bounce with no rest. Like, it's not his fault. At this point, it's not his fault. So that's the situation we're in. Listen, in how many games we got left in the league? Like 7?
8. I think 8. I think 8 games left. Yeah.
Listen, if
8 games.
If 2 of the players that we keep talking about in the forward positions come into form, it's a different conversation. We just need someone
to start banging, fam.
We need someone to have the bite of the apple.
Someone needs to smell the food, fam.
This is it. That's what we need.
Just start banging, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Everyone, bro. Everyone, even opportunity Havertz had when it was offside. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like he's so lucky that was offside, because that would have just been another situation. And like Mayowa said, bro, I only deep that our forwards aren't banging until the commentator says, he's only got 1 in 27. He's only got 1 in 30 something. I'm thinking, damn, fam, we're actually suffering, fam. We've actually suffered. We're actually, but that's why I even rate the team a bit more, and Tuchel as well, because bro, for us to be suffering like this and still winning games and being in the top 4 conversation, still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, like this is just the base. If we just have 2 or 3 of them, man, of those 6-7 man, to just start banging, then I honestly believe we'll be good in it. But we just need 2. I want them, man, to be Havertz and Werner. I need it to be them, man, because they're the ones that we spent the bucks on. And I saw someone say earlier about Tammy. He doesn't get enough time in the press and stuff like that. Tammy does do like interviews, and when he speaks quite honestly. But I guess because he's been injured, he's not been able to.
But playing, so you don't need to
and he's not.
Playing,
you don't need to.
Tammy would want to speak at the moment as well. Like,
I don't think so.
When you're not in the squad, you don't want to bring more attention to yourself. And I remember speaking to him. He's the type of guy that he just wants to keep his head down and work.
Work.
He did leave a comment under expected Chelsea's tweet the other day, which was showing his stats as an under 23-year-old striker, which was quite interesting to see. But we'll move on to obviously team news. Thiago Silva's obviously suspended, and for Palace, the main men are there. Eze, Zaha, they're already fired up at the Selhurst Park. You know what I mean? In the Dunya, it is going to, bro. Listen, I remember Selhurst Park. Yeah, it is not a joke, man. Stadium. Do you know what I mean? It is not nice on the eye, even on the outside. They got a big Sainsbury's glued to the edge of them, fam. It is not. It's cage football. Zaha, Eze, who else is out there, fam? Everybody's available. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? The only person that's not available is Batshuayi because of the loan, but they got some real ballers in their team. Wow.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. You never really know what type of Crystal Palace is going to turn up. Like, that's why we just got to be awake in it. And let's go into the team. But we just need to
Crystal Palace.
Be awake.
MFC, but Crystal Palace. Let's be real. Crystal Palace, Hodgson, they're very stale. Like if these like the ballers turn up, then but they're stale. Listen, they beat West Brom, drew against Everton. Spurs.
I thought West Brom was stale, fam.
Spurs spanked them. They drew against United. This has to be one of them games, where we say every week we need to capitalize on the chances. Like I swear to you, I don't think there's anyone in their back line that can deal with Werner's pace. I I don't think there is.
Do you know what worries me though? Is defensively recently they have improved. Palace, like outside that Tottenham game, only 1 goal conceded against Everton, no goals against West Brom, no goals against Man United, no goals.
Because they're rigid. They're rigid,
and that's our problem. Like because the attack's not firing and they're rigid, I'm a bit worried. Do you know what I mean?
We have to win this game, man.
All right, let's get into the team to finalize because this is starting to stress me out this match now. In goal, Mendy, obviously, you know,
Mendy.
Straight into the back three. Thiago Silva's out, so for me it's very easy again. Aspilicueta, Rudiger, and Christensen. It don't change.
Yeah, no change it, please don't change it.
Yeah, there's no need to tinker with it. Do you know what I mean? They're reliable. They've kept clean sheets. They did well midweek. We move. And then wing backs is where it gets interesting, I think, because Reece James put in a great performance against Porto. I think arguably could be man of the match, definitely a contender. Chilwell was good as well. I would definitely start Chilwell. Do you think Reece James just stays there as well? No changes?
I would think Reece James should stay there because
I think he'll stay there. I think he'll stay there.
I don't want to see like if Hudson-Odoi comes in, like I know what them Palace man are on. Like they will try a thing, like. Because if he vacates the space, they will try a thing. Like, there's no need, especially
Ezzy, Zaha.
Yeah. There's no need. There's no need. Let's start with James.
Yeah, he needs someone that's gonna body them. You know what I mean? Defensively on his knees.
And he dealt with Zaha. He's dealt with
Zaha before. Yeah.
I've seen what Zaha was saying in the car. So let's keep Reece James.
What? What do you mean? Did he do a podcast where he was saying? Man,
no. Like, didn't you see when he was rattled in the car when they went to him and were like, "Oh, Reece James kept you quiet."
Now I know. Now I know.
Rattled.
Yeah. At the bridge, innit?
Yeah, he was rattled.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's play Reece James there.
Yeah. So I think
I need to see that battle again.
Yeah.
Wing back stay.
Part of me saying leave Kante out, and I say this because Porto in midweek. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? Do you put Kante in for this game? And then because I'm a big believer of easing him into things because I'm very worried about like him getting injured again. And I think Tuchel knows that, which is why he's been so easy with him. So do you play Kovacic and Jorginho again, or do you play Kante this game, leave him out of Porto? Do you know what I mean?
Jorginho for me because we're gonna have all of the ball. Palace are gonna be off us, and I feel like I know Tuchel would have done his homework, but I don't think he would have expected Porto to be that much on the front foot. And they're going to have to do the same thing in the second leg. Yeah. So that means that we can afford to have Kante in because Kante is what Kante does. So I would say Jorginho and cover for this one for sure. Because I don't see any Palace player trying to press them off the ball. Like they're not that sort. They're just rigid. So you might as well have the two people that you believe to be better on the ball and centre mid.
I feel you. The only frustrating thing about Kovacic and Jorginho, and it was really evident in that West Brom game, is that sometimes when they're off it, like they're off.
They smell,
Like and it's like, what's going on? I'm looking at them thinking, you're so good at normally keeping the ball. When they're not keeping the ball, and when Jorginho starts not making the tackles and players are going beyond him. It was, bro. It's one of those things where now I've got that in my mind and it scares me. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking, okay, cool. Maybe Kante does need to play this game just to be sure, but I also do want him to play against Porto as well. So I would keep it the same, but I just hope Jorginho and Kovacic just don't get too complacent. I feel like those type of performance comes from being comfortable.
Jorginho was incredibly complacent against West Brom. That's all that was down.
Bro, he's the reason. Silva's central. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
and then Kovacic decided not to defend. I said he's not.
Kovacic improved in the second half, but first half was meaty. And also a big point to make is that I think Kante, Porto, I like the logic. They're gonna come onto us. They need goals, so we're gonna need that in there potentially. And then Man City on the weekend as well. Definitely might need that against their attacking midfielders in them half spaces. So save Kante for next week, I think, and give these guys another game. We kept the clean sheet in midweek with this base that we've created. Kept a clean sheet in midweek, so no changes is calm with me. And then the front three. This is where I know me and Sam going to disagree.
Mason Mount has to start.
Said Werner double.
You know what's actually so mad? The first front three that came to my mind wasn't even with Mount. I mean, wasn't even with Werner.
Oh,
It was Mount. Actually, it was. I lied. That's why it's mad. I lied. My front three is Werner, Havertz, and Ziyech. I want. Yeah, I want him to have a little breather. Man. I want him to have a little breather. Just a little breather.
That's unpopular, you know.
I don't even can rest until after the Euros still.
There's no rest. This brother can't get no rest. We're fifth. There's no rest.
No, but I hear you. Take Werner out. Take Werner out and put stick Mount in there. But I want Havertz. I want Havertz up top. I want him to. I feel like he can cause them a problem with his movement.
I think my front three is between Mount definitely starts. I think it's between Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, because I think either or deserve a game in that position now to start.
Yeah,
I don't really. Do you know what? I don't mind who out of them two.
My thing with Pulisic is I felt like he was easing back into things really well, and then he went on an international break and just played best. I just don't know where his body is at now. Like he's on the guys where he needs the season to end so he can do the strength and conditioning, gym proper. Like, I feel like maybe lockdown, not having access to gym or whatever was going on with him I don't know what's going on, but he needs to do strength and conditioning. But I feel like Mason Mount, just because of the identity of the team, has to play. I genuinely feel, and this might be an unpopular one, I genuinely feel there was one match where we may have to break away from the sort of norm of what we've been doing because of the still opposition. It would be this one. Yeah, I don't like on the real. If you give me Giroud and you pin Giroud against the defenders, and like don't full press, but just pin these man, and bounce the ball off, I won't be mad at it. I actually would not be mad at it. And then if you've got Mason Mount on one side and maybe a team of running on the other side, I would not be mad at it because these men play stealth football. And what we've realized is when we try to sort of the flirting free and everything, we don't penetrate. Yeah. So why not try to just really pin these men back? Remember back in the day, Hazard into Giroud flick, Hazard come through, goal. That sort of vibe, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it for that. This match.
Do you know what? Yeah, I see this as redemption game, and I feel like I'm gonna say something mad as well to equal with Sam leaving out Mount. I'm gonna go Mount. I'm gonna give Pulisic that extra rest, and I'm gonna say come off the bench or start Porto. I think he's one of them guys that are in a good place right now. But if he's fully fit, then he can start. Like I said, I think between him and Hudson-Odoi, I don't really mind who, because I think Pulisic is on the upturn, and I feel like Hudson-Odoi now, he's been left out for so long, or for a while now, that if he was to start, I feel like he'd be on smoke. Like I feel like
he wasn't necessarily left out though. Like he was also coming back from an injury. So he's not a fragile player, but he has tendencies to go in and out of injury. So I hear Tuchel trying to like safeguard him.
I feel like if you start, I get the point about Giroud as well. I wouldn't start Kai up front this game. I think I'd leave Kai for Porto potentially, but I think or Giroud actually for Porto as well. There could be a case to be made, but I think that Porto will come onto us, so there might be space in behind. I feel like this game, if you play Hudson-Odoi and Tammy, you might get smoke, because I feel like these brothers are they're just sitting there waiting now for time. Like they're bubbling. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you go with that, like everybody will talk about who they think is better ability wise and whatnot, but there's nothing more dangerous than a brother who needs redemption. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely. No, I feel you. That makes sense.
Dangerous.
But that's the I hear you, but this ain't the movies, man. This ain't the. But that's the thing. You know. I used to think that way.
This ain't the movies.
Yeah, because bro, I used to think that way. I swear to you, I used to think like, oh, you know what? These men have been sitting on the bench in their mind. They're just seeing goals. But when they come on, bro, it's just not the same. Like they lose the ball in that. Like, bro, you're thinking.
On FIFA, you get a manager when you get bust up and thinking maybe I can get a start this week. What do you think about it?
You drop one of them emails.
No, on what you're saying though, I think if you were to start Cho and you had James on one side, because remember Cho's a creative. I don't think he's not going on with the goal scoring intent, but he can create chances for someone that's inside the box. Yeah, I think like the type of player that Hudson-Odoi is. It's so mad though, because I remember under 21s, he had that freedom. He had freedom to sort of pop up everywhere. But whereas with a Chelsea, I feel like he wants to kind of create a pass for someone that's inside the box. And who is going to be inside the box? It's either Giroud or Havertz.
Exactly, bro.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
I feel like that's another big issue that we didn't talk about. Who you play is dependent on the combination because, like, if you play the ZH and a Hudson Odoi, oh my word, these men will just be crossing, like, switching the ball to each other.
They'll be passing to each other.
Combinations are a bit mismatched as well. So, like,
this is why I think Mount, James, and Hudson Odoi, I feel like there could be something there. But then maybe they need that focal point in the box to hit as well, to play off or to hit. Because I can see Mason playing it into Giroud, bouncing off of him 1-2 in the box. I can see Hudson Odoi crossing. He's got good crossing tech. Reece James as well.
Havertz, play that guy down the middle, bro. And if we're gonna combine all of our front threes, it will be Havertz, Hudson Odoi, and Mount. I think that was the front three against Everton, right? I think it was.
I think so.
And that was they were quite
good. They was good that day. Yeah,
they were quite fluid in that game. Do you get what I'm saying? Give us that again. Like Havertz is also, he needs a little bit of redemption because the Champions League he wasn't playing that well. Hudson Odoi, Mount is excited. So and then hopefully get to a few goals. Then Tammy can come on maybe 70, 75 minutes, get a goal in. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Like, just need goals, man. Just need goals. Maybe Werner come last 10 minutes, get a break.
The one thing I'm going to say with Havertz, that Palace defense potentially could be quite physical, so he's going to have to stand up tall. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Giroud, bro.
That's why you said Giroud, isn't it? Yeah.
Cahill and them, man. Yeah, let Giroud put shoulders with them, man.
It's gonna. You know what? It's one of them ones where that front three, and we haven't even mentioned. We didn't mention ZS too much. This is my thing. There's so much competition there that if a brother's not doing well, I can't keep saying start every game. I can't because there's too much. We've just named Pulisic, Hudson Odoi, Ziyech, Mount, Abraham, Giroud, Werner. There's just too many guys there for you to be playing every game. You have to be putting in 10 out of 10s, or you got to come out that team at some point because there's just too many options. We'll get some score predictions and then we'll wrap up. We'll keep this one relatively short because we know that the TO is still hopping as well, so I got to get back on there. I can't lie. I know what I put out. I put out a dangerous tweet, and I need to see what's going on.
I can't even. The worst thing is, I can't get involved in those debates on Twitter, because
you can't do it.
I need you to hear how I'm saying these things. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't write the way I feel. Like you man, I feel like you man are very good at articulating yourselves on Twitter. For me, I'll just be putting I'll be like H, like you're just moving mad. You know what I mean? But they won't get it. Like, I need to jump on Clubhouse or something.
I'm not gonna lie, Ezzy and Zaha, I think with James and Chilwell, I really hope they have bad boy performances. And I'm talking, I want James on smoke against Zaha. I want him on smoke.
The irony is, Hodgson is so weird that Eze might not even start. I've seen him do weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen weird stuff like not utilize the creative players.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I think he has to though. He has to because Batshuayi can't play. I'm thinking of the other players that they have. Who would he play? And he's been Ben Teke and Zaha up top, maybe just to keep them.
Milinkovic in the middle. He does some weird stuff, man. He's a funny manager.
We better not dare. We better not dare lose. He's a funny guy. We better not dare lose this. Real talk.
Sam? What's your score prediction for this game, bro?
It's a 2-0. It's a 2-0, man. 2-0. First goal, first half. Second goal. Last with it's gonna be one of those games, isn't it? Like I'm not even gonna say more than 2 goals. Like I just need us to always score early because when we don't score early, that's when we start looking nervous and we start looking not even nervous. I start getting nervous. Like they playing the same, but it's like if we concede late on, what's the likelihood of us scoring? Because we don't score that many goals. So if we score early, fine. Because I know that we can see that 1-0 out because we've done it a few times. But I want 2 goals, man. I want 2 goals, please.
What about you, bro? What are you thinking?
I'm going for a conservative 1-0 in anticipation that it's more than that. Because last time I came, I said, we can give West Brom 3. They gave us 5. The only 3 that was the difference in the scorelines. So I'm gonna go conservative. I'm gonna say 1-0, and then hopefully we can, maybe turn into like a goal. Yeah. Because last week scored me still. I'm gonna be very conservative.
It shook the cage. It rattled the cage. It wasn't to be expected. I'm gonna go with 2-0 as well, but I hear both of them, like 1-0, 2-0. It's going to be one of those ones. I just hope and pray for the clean sheet. My main instructions, if I was Tuchel, not even that you should even have to tell them at this point, but don't be complacent. Pass that ball properly. Keep that ball properly. Don't be giving it away. Don't be getting turnovers with Zaha in your own half and nonsense like that. And let's just pray that this team can be a bit more clinical. So yeah, people, that's the end of the stream. Listen. Shout out to the boys for joining me again for this preview. Obviously, Palace is tomorrow, 5:30 kickoff. The review's going to be back again. Tammy and Anita doing up smoke. Hopefully, it's another W. W settings only, people. We are 5th in the blood clot table. We need a win, and we know the fixtures coming up. Sam, bro, any content coming up? Let the people know what's going on.
Yeah, Footy Agenda's coming back this week. Been out for a few weeks, but yeah, I'm bringing it back. I'm going to start doing lives as well, so you're going to see a few familiar faces. And my YouTube is Sam O.
100.
My Instagram, Twitter _Sam Obataki. Follow me up. Give me a shout if you got some. If you're Werner believer, you know what I mean. Like, there's too many Werner haters out there. I hear it. I do hear it. He's not scoring goals, but we have to pray and intercede that man will start scoring goals. And if we believe, he will, innit?
You're definitely the biggest believer on my channel in terms of the weekly schedule, and I like that. It gives me versatility. I need that. That's what the channel needs. We needed someone. I mean, like I said, I got patience for him. I want him to be here next season and to get that chance. And some men are saying sell. That's nuts. But
he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. So he has to start banging.
Yeah. You're not going. He's not going nowhere this summer. And he shouldn't be. Everybody deserves their second season. Every signing deserves their second season. Mayo, what do you make of what have you got coming out content wise, bro? Stoppage Time TV versus, talk to us. What you got? Stoppage
Time TV will be back on the weekend. Versus should have a few features, writing pieces coming out next week. Just keep tuned to the personals as well. I just realized last time we played these guys, that's the game Jorginho scored 2 penalties, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I wouldn't mind a penalty, It's been a while. I wouldn't mind. It's been a while.
How many?
We just need to win, man. We just need to win. I need Jorginho and Kovacic to just be awake, bro. Even you lot saying the last few, I'm not feeling great anymore.
You're not feeling great?
No. Not feeling great. That West Brom game, like the premise completely different to Champions League, bro. Like that West Brom game actually had just brought me down to earth a little bit because I was flying high, bro. Watching Match of the Day every week because we were winning. Didn't watch it last week. You know what I mean?
That show is getting locked off after games like that. No chance. I don't see it. No chance. Links are in the description, people. Big up to the chat. I know I didn't go through the chat so much today. I usually always do, but today was one of them ones where we just had to. I wanted to dedicate a good preview to just talking about this Tammy Werner Tuchel thing in depth and getting everybody's take and opinion on it, because I feel like you're not going to get that tomorrow. It's going to be thunder, Russian blood, me, Tammy, and Anita at 90 pace, running around thinking what is the result. So it was good to have this sit down with the boys and get it all out. Big up to you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. No more content from me today on my channel, obviously. Check out Bits and Bobs as well. Shout out to him. He was in the chat. We did an interview earlier today. Really good. Wasn't just all football. But we did a really, he interviewed me there. That was a really good show. I could be on Nini's channel later. I'm not sure with the times because I got Big Six at 10 as well. So catch me later on that. So yeah, it's a hectic day. I'll see you, man, tomorrow for the review. In a bit, people. Peace.
In a bit. Peace.
Links in description as per usual.